Now, for a regional data center, enterprise data center, as well as a regional hub for cloud computing, to begin with, you have to have very good infrastructure in terms of telecommunication and electricity. Now, Hong Kong actually is one of the very few places that the telecommunication market has been totally liberalized, such that there are enough players offering very good quality telco infrastructure at very competitive pricing. Now, that goes not only with internal telecom network in the local loops, but also with international telecom infrastructure. A lot of overseas cables and satellite establishment are having very good foothold in Hong Kong. Plus the fact that Hong Kong has big pipes into the mainland, which makes it even more of an attractive place, especially for people who want to have data processing done, and having a foothold, or interested in doing business in mainland. So, from a telco perspective, Hong Kong is very mature, very competitive, and also offer very good services of very high grade. Now, another type of infrastructure is electricity. Hong Kong is actually one of the very few places that offer very attractive electricity tariff, at the same time very high level of stability and reliability. There are actually, in such a small place as Hong Kong, there are actually two power companies, one taking care of each side of the harbor, but they also back each other up to some extent. And the electric companies have been registering very high uptime. That is, setting it up very favorably to people who are interested in, operating data centers and cloud services in this part of the world. So utility and infrastructure is one. The other one is, of course, the freedom of importing and exporting, including the freedom of importing equipment into Hong Kong at very low tax or virtually no tax or duties, and at the same time the freedom of importing technology, especially high-tech IP, related of equipment and know-how into Hong Kong. There's really no restriction. Hong Kong is a free port, so that gives the data centers who need to buy a lot of equipment, to have a low cost and also a low barrier way of importing technology and asset into Hong Kong. That's another aspect. And then the third aspect is talent. You need to have people of high quality in terms of know-how in managing data centers, service level, also IP protection, and that sort of skill set. Now, Hong Kong has a lot of these people, and the ethical standards of people in Hong Kong are very high. Another area has to do with the rule of law. Hong Kong has a very mature legal system. It has very good data protection, data privacy laws. The regulation is very mature, but on the other hand, it's not kind of a counter to freedom of speech and that sort of thing. So it gives companies who want to host different sort of data, process different sort of data, all the flexibility while enjoying the protection, from a legal perspective. And then, of course, we come to the political stability of Hong Kong. That I don't need to talk too much about that. The other aspect has to do with natural disasters and things like that. Hong Kong is totally out of the earthquake zone, outside of the earthquake zone. Hong Kong never have tsunami, or hurricane or any type of disaster. The weather in Hong Kong is very stable, so that gives a very good level of certainty as to any sort of worries about natural disaster. So all these things are very favorable, from a perspective of MNCs or mainland companies who want to have consolidate their data centers in one place, or service providers who offer cloud computing services or software as a service or web services type of offering. Hong Kong is the best place in the region to conduct this sort of activities. One other advantage of Hong Kong serving the role of a regional data center is our proximity to the rest of Asia. We're actually 5 hours or less in terms of plane ride from most part of Asia. We are very close to the mainland. Companies who want to enter into the mainland market, Hong Kong would be a first logical place to set up the data processing capabilities. And for the mainlanders or mainland companies who want to go international or want to list internationally or who wants to go overseas, Hong Kong would be also a first place to host the data. So the proximity geographically is a very positive factor.